Thanks for joining us in the trenches with Dave Lapham, brought to you by First Star Logistics. As always, coming to you from our outstanding studios. Time for Keys to the Game. And honestly, we're doing these keys the morning after. Witness what took place with Damar Hamlin, and still in a mindset where football is way, way, way down the pecking order. The health and well-being and life of Damar Hamlin is first and foremost. And I think that's going to be a big key in this football game. Will the Bengals, coaches, players, everybody affiliated with the organization, will they be able to bounce back mentally? Compartmentalize. People were talking about, they should have finished that football game. That is hard to put that aside and have selective amnesia and say, I didn't see what I just saw, and I'm just going to go continue to play football. I know there's a whole week here where you can recover from that mentally, but it's still going to be a big, big challenge. The mental part of that is going to be something that players and coaches are going to be leaning on each other all week long. I mean, if honestly, some players may need counseling. Some players may need some help, and whatever it takes for them to get ready to go and play the best game they can possibly play against the Baltimore Ravens. That's what it's all about. And it all starts up here. The mental part of the game is as important, if not more important, than the physical part of the game. And we do know when you play the Ravens, it is about the physical part of the game. We talk about it all the time. This football team will hit you. You have to put on your big boy pads. You have to put on your big cage face mask. You have to put on your double chin strap to your helmet. This is going to be a physical football game. They run the football and they stop the run. Going into last weekend's games, they were second in the NFL in rushing yards per game and rush average per attempt per game. And defensively, they were third best in both of those areas. Top three, running the football, stopping the run, yards per game, average per rush. That is strong. They are about 75 to 80 yards differential between the yards they accumulate offensively and the yards they allow defensively. They are old-fashioned defensive football. They're going to stop the run and make you have to throw the football, throw it because you have to, not because you want to, and they are going to run the football, which makes them balanced and makes them be able to play action pass and do all the things they want to do offensively. So this is all going to be a big, big deal in this football game. Who's going to be able to run the ball and who's going to be able to control the other team's running attack. I'd like to see the Bengals be very, very balanced. I'd like to see them as balanced as Green Bay was a couple of weekends ago. They had a big football game, to keep their playoff hopes alive. They've got they have a 4-game winning streak. They win this football game, 4-game winning streak. Their playoff chances are still alive. In those 4 games, Aaron Rodgers at the quarterback position, they threw it 126 times and ran it 125. They have Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, and they were as balanced as you can be. They threw the ball one more time than they ran it over a 4-game stretch from a play selection standpoint. That is balance. I'd like to see the Bengals be balanced in play selection and particularly against the Baltimore Ravens, get that running game going a little bit. Special teams are always going to be a big factor in the football game. Hidden yards as a result of special teams and turnovers, obviously. Harbaugh cut his teeth as a special teams coach. He is all about putting you on the long field and putting his team on the short field. That is the Harbaugh heritage, the average drive start. He wants to have at least a first down advantage. He wants to start from his 35-yard line, make you start at your 25-yard line, and over 7 possessions, that adds up, and you have hidden yards, hidden football fields in terms of yards. And as you might expect, the Baltimore Ravens are top 5 in 3 out of 4 special teams categories. They're 6th in the NFL in punt returns, and they're 5th in the NFL covering punts, 7th in the NFL covering kickoffs. Special teams are special in Baltimore, and that's going to be a big, big deal in this football game as well. They do have an outstanding kicker. Tucker is as good as it gets in the National Football League. Could be Money Mac or Tucker kicking a game-winning field goal. Which kicker is going to get the most opportunities to succeed? I hope it's their kicker because I hope the Bengals are scoring touchdowns and limiting the Baltimore Ravens to field goals. Go ahead and let Tucker have 12 points on 4 field goals. If the Bengals have scored 4 touchdowns, I'm fine with that. Now you're talking 16 points that the Ravens would have potentially left on the football field. Red zone is going to be a big issue, as it always is. Who is going to execute in the red zone? Who is going to finalize with touchdowns and limit the opposition to field goal? In the early stages of the Buffalo game, before the Damar Hamlin injury took place, I mean, the Bengals in their first possession right down the football field, the Buffalo Bills, number 1 in the NFL in the red zone, allowing a touchdown only 44.4% of the time, less than half the time. The Bengals, 14-yard touchdown pass in the red zone to Tyler Boyd. And Buffalo comes down the football field and has to settle for a field goal in the red zone. So red zone was very big in the early stages of that football game, that 4-point swing. Buffalo leaving 4 points on the football field. That's what we want to see happen when the Bengals take on the Baltimore Ravens as well. So run the football, stop the run, pressure the quarterback, stay ahead of the chains. These are all going to be big, big deals in this football game. Let's talk a little bit about red zone. Going into last weekend's games, the Ravens, they were struggling to score. They were 30th in the National Football League in red zone touchdown percentage, struggling to finalize and finish drives. The Bengals defense has to continue that trend. Do not let the Ravens take advantage of opportunities in the red zone. Defensively, the Ravens are outstanding, 48%, 4th in the National Football League. They've been very, very good in the red zone. That's how they've won football games. Red zone defense overall. They are physically, there's no question about it. But you have to be physical, but play with discipline. Both of these football teams, the Bengals and the Ravens, they're both top 10 in penalties assessed, in penalty yards that they've had to deal with. They are physical, but disciplined. Which one is going to be better in that area? That's going to be a big, big factor in determining the outcome of this football game as well.
At First Star Logistics, we're a very strict company that really puts the pressure on our employees. Breaks? What are those?
That's what I'm talking about, Icky. Get the body right, then the mind's right.
Gotta get that body right.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Become a star with a chance to earn the highest commission percentages in the industry as a freight broker agent. Check out FirstStarLogistics.com.